Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the regular monthly meeting of the Lebanon County Council for the month of August. This time, if we could all stand, I'll ask Mr. Blankenship to have our invocation, followed by pledge of allegiance.
Our gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening. We're so thankful, Lord, for the blessings that you have bestowed upon us and our citizens in the town. We ask that you would continue to lead us, and guide us, and direct us in the path that you have laid out for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For members of the council that don't recognize Sean Street is now with us from the Lebanon News, and as he said a minute ago, he's like the Raiders. He's come back home, left, come back home, so we're glad to have you, Sean.
Appreciate it.
Any items to edit on the agenda from council members? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We also received our minutes from the July regular council meeting and the reconvened meeting on the 20th of July. Everyone had a chance to review those?
On the July 19th sanitation department minutes, it has me as the chairman.
And this sign is more.
I will. I'll get that changed.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I've got one more, Mayor. On page 4, Mayor Doty advised he'd like to set an ARPA committee meeting for Tuesday, June 20th. Diane and I spoke about that. That needs to be July 20th.
Wait, I didn't do that.
So the July 20th minutes, where are you?
Page 4 of the July 12th minutes. It just stated that you advise an ARPA committee meeting for Tuesday, June 20th. That should be July. Up at the top, first, second paragraph.
I saw that, but I thought that was already a meeting that you all had before.
Oh, it was July.
That was during the July 12th meeting.
Yeah. Okay. Now, is there a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
I'll make that motion.
For a second?
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We received from Beverly our approval of our July accounts payable and assets. Mr. Gilmer, Finance Committee Chair, do we have any additions, Kevin, to what we've received?
This is,
This complete list?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Mayor, I'd just like to point out there's a couple items on the preliminary report, the hanging baskets, the signs for downtown, the poles for signs, Christmas decorations that'll need to be, those invoices will need to be provided to Debbie for a drawdown for downtown revitalization streetscape.
Yes.
And with that, I'll move to approve the July accounts payable as presented.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Greg and Melissa Kaiser, Kaiser Trucking Company, do we have those folks here in the audience somewhere? Let's see you back there. For those who are visiting us tonight, this was the first annual event that Kaiser Trucking and their family put on the Big Rig Showdown. at the Government Center, what was it, the 31st of July? Am I right on that? So, but anyway, I had never been to one. There's something else to see. And we want to make sure that we thank David and Regina Belcher and JL and Megan Lester. I think they helped a great deal with that. But we certainly, it was a great event that you all did. We were able to help. We tried to promote it. And, you know, late in the game, we tried to, whatever things that we could do.
You did, thank you.
So we hope that we were helpful. And we're also hopeful that maybe this will become an annual event. Because it was a great event for the citizens of not only Lebanon, but we had folks here from everywhere. So, in the county, states, surrounding states. I mean, it was just a great event. And so I'd like, Greg, Alyssa, if you all, any of the Kaisers, if you could come up front.
We'll have you a lot more next year on this.
Y'all did well this year.
Somebody's going.
Right?
Hey, Sean's here. Yes, he's got the camera.
I'm on fire by that self. If it works.
We'll move this out.
Get up there, Gina.
Is that enough information?
Yeah.
Okay. On behalf of the mayor and our town council, we would like to commend Greg and Melissa Kaiser and the Kaiser Trucking Company for choosing the town of Lebanon as the location for the 2021 Big Rig Showdown on July 31st. We'd like to express our appreciation for all the hard work, hospitality, and community participation for making this event such a success. And we thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
There's the boss.
Thank you.
I'm gonna squeeze in.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we get a picture
Okay.
of all of us. Sean will have to move us around.
Should be all right. Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Good for a weekend now.
No, actually, Same weekend,
Is it Friday, Saturday?
if we can, we'll have to work out the
July
details.
29th to 30th.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not
It's gonna be
tired of
awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, did you?
I did, I called
Did you go to the government office?
Yeah,
Okay.
they got that taken
Good.
care of. Thank you all.
My
Thanks
first
for
kid, my
everything.
German.
Yeah, I didn't probably do that. Yeah, thank you
All
all.
right, see y'all, man.
Yeah. We can go. See you soon.
Okay, see you.
Whose glasses?
And the other one, sister.
Whose glasses?
She's mine.
That's all right.
Blonde hair. Yeah, that's my ass, jail, Megan. Can't remember who she was.
They say it's already scheduled for next year.
They did, I think, July 29th and 30th. That's what they're looking at.
2 day show this time, huh?
Yeah, Friday evening and Saturday. So that's the plan. Okay. We're now down to public request on the agenda, and we have Josh with us, Josh Burgess, who's developing a property out here across from McDonald's. I guess what is the old Quick, is that what they call it?
Super Ed.
Super Ed, yeah. So Josh, you want to address us, so it's your time.
Received a letter, nuisance, town,
Mm-hmm.
hurt feelings. I don't want to be a nuisance, but anyway. Name's Josh Burgess, started off this way. Live in Cleveland, 36 years old. I've known several of y'all for 20+ years. We own Handy's Market over on the mountain, Cleveland, and been open 3 years. It's a established business. We acquired Liquid Superette. It's been a little over a year ago, and everybody knows it's been disrepaired, lot to do, but we will have it up and running, and it will be equal to or better than what's in Cleveland. We don't leave no stones unturned, top to bottom. That's what we're up against, and I spoke with the town manager, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
Several times. Last conversation we had was, I understand, Josh, didn't I get this letter, that we're a nuisance, and a lot of ugly stuff in it, y'all know the details. But I'm here to see what the outcome will be, and
Well,
where y'all stand, feel.
well, first of all, I don't know about the ugly part of it. It's an ordinance that's in town,
Yeah.
okay? Certainly not meant to be an ugly document. However, what happens, Josh, is when you're on Main Street, we get citizens by there all the time. And you know, in a community, just like, certainly you're not, I want you to understand, you are not the only property that has come under this ordinance. Mr. Tiller can explain that to you. We were aware that now you could help me understand, I guess. I don't know, I think this started in April maybe, some conversations, I don't remember, at which time I learned you are the man. I don't know, apparently you don't have a whole lot of help around your with your work schedule. I don't know, I don't know where you work, railroad.
Yeah, I work for the railroad. They want me 7 days a week. I show the distance, walk 40, 50 hours a week.
Yeah,
I have family.
yeah,
I will make time for them.
sure.
And, you know, I run usually 120 hours a week. That's my workload. And have a business to maintain.
You're talking about the one in Cleveland as well.
Established business.
Right.
It's doing well. And, you know, got a full plate in my timelines. You know, I can't give you an exact deadline because my world can fall apart in a phone call
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah.
You understand that?
What kind of plan do you have? I mean, what have you got?
Yeah, letter will describe, what we're up against, timelines, and you gotta understand these timelines include me working, family, and business, so. But, you know, the property's in disrepair, it hadn't had any maintenance since 1990, and when we're done, it will be a credit to the community, it will be a staple in the community, create jobs, revenue, all of that, but, you know. Go through a few things, what we're looking at, and this, we're reconfiguring the walk-in cooler, be 2 weeks on that repair, and repair, replace flooring, 2 weeks, finish the wiring, week and a half, install new drywall, studs, paint, estimate about 4 weeks, install new lighting, ceiling, paint, 3 weeks, that, install new doors, 2 weeks, paint exterior building, including paint top to bottom, do all signage, all that. That'd be about 2.5 weeks. And we're, timeline unknown is paint, pump, piping, all that has to be inspection, and come into compliance with DEQ. So that will include contract work, and,
What is it you have to do with DEQ?
yeah, DEQ, all sites, if they have underground storage tanks,
Okay.
they have to be registered, inspected, and you have a whole new set of guidelines that came out this year.
Oh.
DEQ, it's a lot.
But we've had to deal with DEQ,
Yeah.
so we
And
we
past,
feel.
past 2 months, that's what I've been going through Cleveland, is why I haven't seen on property out here much. With 90 days to complete this, I'm down to about 28 days. Hopefully it'll be completed. Went from being in 100% compliance, new regulation rolling out, we had 12 violations.
Is that the one in Cleveland that you're working on now, DEQ?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What about,
I've already had them out here.
you already, so they've been here?
Yeah, we've done temporary closure on tanks, did, pre-inspection worksheet, had everything in compliance, had a visit, all checked out well. And the property was in compliance prior to me buying it. So on that end, know that there will be a lot of DEQ stuff to do with.
Will you have, food in there?
Oh, yeah,
Like a certain, we call it like a
deli,
deli?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
we're homemade all the way, all we can. Hours operation, Cleveland runs 5:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. And we cook the whole time up until 8 p.m.
Pretty much you anticipate that here too?
Thing, we're gonna have ice cream, whether it be hand dip, soft serve. 100% gas, E10, it's cheap stuff, and diesel.
Okay.
Will be on every dispenser. And dispensers, pumps, will be replaced, like new. This thing will be nice.
Okay.
It will. It's an amazing location, and it's a privilege to own property.
Yeah.
And we will.
Well, we want you, I hope you know, we want you, first of all, we want to welcome you. It may not seem that we're welcoming you, but we do, we do want to welcome you to town, and it helps, the reason, I'm glad you came to explain a lot of things that we
Yeah.
hear about out in John Q. Public. They, you know, they expect when we get a complaint, that we just call somebody, and then you come over there and clean it up in a week. And it's helped me, it's helpful for me to know the things that you're having to do.
Yeah.
That DEQ loop is a loop.
If you don't follow that, you'll be
That's a-
prison. Yes.
That's an issue.
And we're in good standing with DEQ, we have good reputation. We're not driving the cleanest, sumps around. They say, we'll take these photos back to our office and show you what we're supposed to look like.
So we'll know too, people ask, and it's, looks like there's
Yeah,
a trailer, a marked, or you take, what's its purpose?
all right, I got two trailers there,
Okay,
and one of them is a box trailer, 18-wheeler, okay? And the other one, I acquired it for parts.
okay,
There's a walk-in cooler in corner style. That is the reconfigured of the walk-in cooler out here, living on space. Okay, get that, and plus it is for storage, got fixtures, equipment, everything that was in the quick super has come out. And there's still some stuff I gotta get out. Because when you're doing flooring, all that, you can't have nothing in there. And in Cleveland, a lot of my storage had a Connex trailer and stuff, but a lot of stuff, we just put it out parking lot, under porch and all that, and I don't want that out here.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you don't need it. So, trailers will, when their time is up, they'll be removed from property, and that will be when the fixtures go back in the building.
so you've got existing fixtures that you're gonna use back in that building in the trailer?
Yes, trailers, yes,
Okay.
parts and fixtures,
Okay,
supplies, equipment, all materials,
okay,
because it'll be brand new.
okay.
Yeah, but that's planned there, and once the trailers are removed, the parking lot will be paved.
Well, you gonna pave the parking lot?
Yes, sir.
What are you gonna do with that big hole there, that dip to the, when you're going back toward the car wash? Is that on your property?
Yeah, me and Chad talked, we're gonna share the cost on that.
Okay.
He's on board 100%.
Well, good.
Yeah, me and Chad's got a good relationship, good everything. But,
And what's the name of it again? What's it gonna be?
Handy's Market.
Handy?
Handy's, Handy apostrophe S. Yeah. And you should make a trip to Cleveland. Brad's a good customer. Travel that way, work for them.
So do you anticipate somewhere in December-ish, January?
No, it won't be this calendar year.
So, I mean, just a rough estimate.
Yeah, if I'm not open by spring, like early to mid-spring,
Yeah.
I'll be very upset myself.
Okay.
Because this thing loses money every day Saturday.
Yeah.
I can tell you probably $1,000 pay loss. And nobody wants it open more than me.
Well,
Yeah, and it'd be great for the town.
okay.
You know, went to school and high school. I swore this down all the time. Be glad they love it. I know I don't live here, but I like where I live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Council, we've got Josh with us. Anybody else have any questions with him tonight
Anything?
that he can address for us?
don't think so. I mean, obviously, we welcome you to the town. I hate we start off on the wrong foot here, but at least now it's an open communication line. We understand what your plan is and the progress you're making. All I ask is that you keep us informed moving forward, and I don't think there'll be any issues.
And if there's things you need to get going out there after they're used, just put them on the edge out there. Our guys will come get them. If there's things in your way that you want gone, we'll get it going.
Limits to what?
A phone call.
Just call Billy Hughes.
Just call them.
Yeah.
No, Billy, don't you?
Well, you need to call the town.
Yeah, just, well, and when you call the town, they're gonna hook you up with Billy, because he's a regular public works.
You can Billy? No, I can't Billy. Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I thought you was.
But anyway, that's that, well, my point is, if you need, you've got, just what we really need for people is just bring it to the edge of the property, to where we get the vehicle in there and get it going, okay?
Yeah, no problem.
That way it'll be
Appreciate
anyway.
that.
I appreciate you coming, we've learned some things tonight, but,
Yeah.
you know, obviously we didn't know, and when, the thing, like I say, what we deal with is, when they see it, that's all they know, okay? Now we have a better understanding of what's going on, and we appreciate you coming tonight.
Thanks for having me.
It's also good to see you again.
Yeah, last time I saw you was handing a diploma.
I gave you a phone, that's good. Been a few years back.
You got one, you got one.
I thought you was gonna say it was in the principal's office.
Listen, man, you already knew Josh was on the property. Yeah, so Miss Stanley graduated. But we certainly do, and if we can help expedite anything that you need out there, just call us, okay?
I need a time machine.
Yeah, let's say you do.
Yes, I did.
And
Yeah.
sounds like you need some helpers.
Yeah, I got some contract help lined up.
Okay.
Yeah, this won't all happen by me.
Okay,
I learned that lesson in Cleveland.
all right. Anything else from anyone? Just move forward, okay?
Thank you.
If we help you in any way, you let us know, okay?
Oh, sir. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Let's see, I have Doro Martin. You come up, Miss Martin? How are you tonight?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for giving me the time, the opportunity to talk to you. It's actually something really positive. About 6 months back, my friend Rosalie from Delaware, whom I got to know through the POW flag ride that we had the opening ceremony in Lebanon, asked me if I would have and host Breakfast in Virginia. And I said, well, I don't know about Virginia, but Southwest Virginia, that'll work. And so I just dove in. I asked my friends from Fallen Warriors out of Tazewell County if they would be willing to help. And we had to kind of figure out what Breakfast was actually all about. Delaware had it for 7 years, and they do a 5K walk, run, and a 10K ruck. And I said, well, just a 5K is not going to do it for Southwest Virginia. I mean, we have runners and ruckers, and I know we have veterans that are really excited about that. I hope I want to see you out there. But we went beyond just being a 5K. We will have a tug of war competition. It's a 2-day event on the 25th and 26th of September.
25th?
And 26th of September. It's going to be at the Russell County Fairgrounds. We thought for the first time we'll do it out of everybody's way. So depending on how this is going to turn out, we will have, on Saturday is more a family-oriented day. It's going to be tug of war. We're going to have a cornhole tournament. We're going to have X throwing. We have a lot of stuff for kids, you know, like Americana stuff, you know, sack race, you know, egg race, face painting, pie contests, just fun stuff for the family. And Sunday is going to be we're going to have church in the morning. There's going to be a okay, let me get this together. It's cars, bikes, jeeps, big rigs, trucks, show. That's gonna pull into the afternoon, and then there's gonna be a ride at about 1 p.m. that combat veterans are leading. It's gonna go to the breaks and back, and then we're gonna have a dinner.
It's fairgrounds. Do they come back to the fairgrounds?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, they will. What Vet Fest is all about, all our proceeds are gonna go to Stop Soldier Suicide. And September is Suicide Awareness Month. Stop Soldier Suicide is an organization. They are trying to catch the people that are falling through the cracks. I'm not gonna diss the VA in any way, but they have their cookie cutter stuff that they have to work with, and a lot of times they cannot pinpoint help. Stop Soldier Suicide can. They can pinpoint, they do a lot of research, and they have helped a lot of people. I will go ahead and leave y'all some literature here. You can go ahead and read that up. My thing is, military-related suicide hit me when Daytona took his life. I thought he was good. We had long conversations. We had a video conference with a medical professional with the VA. He was supposed to go get more help, more mental health help. And a week before we were supposed to have that, he couldn't stand it any longer. He could not. So this was a blessing for me, because now I can go ahead and I can be proactive. A lot of people feel kind of weird talking about suicide because it's already a touchy subject, and especially, veterans are usually even less apt to talk about this because, you're in the military, you're taught to, you just suck it up and you'll be okay, and, if we have to give you something, give you some meds and you'll be fine. And that's not how to approach this. And our community needs to know that this is a problem, a big problem. And this event is for community, it's for veterans, it's for active military, it's for law enforcement, it's for EMS, it's for fire, it's for everybody. Now, Bill Watson has already called out Eric Deskins for the tug of war.
Oh.
So it's on.
Eric was with that.
We're in the process of
Yeah.
getting up with Doro to make a video.
And this is gonna be a thing. We want to involve as many people as possible. If you have a business and you can get 6 people together for the tug of war, great. If you have 2 people who want to do the cornhole tournament, that's awesome too. If you want to throw axes, it's very little entry fee. It's $10 for a team of 6. So that comes down to what? Who's the mad person? $1.50 a person. But, if we raise a little bit of money, and that little bit of money helps us to save one life, that is worth it to me. And that's worth putting all this work into it and hopefully making this an annual thing. So, the only thing I'm asking is that you help promote it.
You have a flyer?
I have a flyer, we have t-shirts, we have blue t-shirts with sponsors on the back, but it was just enough to get, to buy the t-shirts. We didn't go overboard with that, but we have a Facebook presence. It's VetFest Southwest Virginia. There's a group and an event. All our events there, the cornhole and the tug of war, have separate events, so you can register on Facebook already. You can click a link and it pre-registers you. We're not asking for any money then. You pay when you get there. And we just hope that it's going to be a great day. And what I'm really proud of is our resource center that we're going to have. We're going to have a lady from the VA coming. We have people from the Department of Veterans Affairs coming. We have Healing Hands. They do fly fishing for vets and help show them how to tie their own flies. We have the Baylor Warrior Raider Warriors Ranch out of Bristol County. They have just now opened, and they opened for law enforcement, first responders, and military, past and present. You can live there and, work on the farm and pay for your, pay for your stage like that. And I thought that was a super thing. And then we have combat paddlers out of Chattanooga coming. They do teach kayak for veterans. So there are a lot of resources for families, for veterans, for friends, and just for people who want to know how we can interact and not feel awkward about it. Because that's really what it boils down to, A lot of people, if you ask them if they're okay, oh yeah, I'm fine. No, you don't have to. You can actually, without being worried of being judged, tell somebody, I got this going on, and please help me. Thanks.
We think, I'd like to get, if you could give the flyer information to Miss Nunley,
Oh, yeah.
and I guess Dad, we get with Janice. We certainly appreciate the efforts that you all are making for our veterans. I'm just gonna guess Mr. Leonard would like to make a comment. But we certainly will support it any way we can through our webpage, our Facebook, and we thank you for what you're doing. It's a great service.
Now, we were able to purchase 3 banners, not big banners, but, 3 by 6, and I was wondering if we could put one in the town somewhere, if that is an option.
How big is it?
3 by 6, it's not very
3
big.
foot by 6 foot.
Yeah.
So, we'll find somewhere, won't we?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll find us a visible place, maybe near one of the intersections.
That
Yeah,
would-
if you can leave it, do you have it with you?
I didn't want to just assume.
Yeah, well, just bring it, when you're back in town, also, if you would, give it to Miss Nunley.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, ma'am, we'll put it up.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
And
it.
we greatly appreciate you coming out and explaining to us what you are doing, because I've taken some notes here, and anything that I can do to help you advertise this, I'd be more than happy to. But first off, we appreciate you standing up for veterans.
My husband's a veteran. We're fighting PTSD.
PTSD.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We've been doing this for 20 years, and it took us 10 years for him to admit that he has a problem. And I know how hard it must be for him, because, never want to think there's anything wrong, especially a full-out fighter. And this is so important because, like I said, y'all should not feel like nobody cares, because I can't imagine how it is to be alone with those demons that y'all bring back. Nobody wants to see that. I don't want to share what I have in my head from my time in EMS. I don't want anybody just to have to see that. So
Sure. Not only veterans, but just like, just talking with Eric, law enforcement, EMS, fire department, PTSDs, it's everywhere, car accidents, drug-related issues, so, not just standing up for veterans, but we appreciate all the hard work that you're putting in, and as a council, we'll discuss some things that we can possibly help you with, and reach back out to you. I don't think we're gonna have any problem advertising for you, even at Veterans Memorial Park down here. There's some things that we can do to help you guys out. We
Is
appreciate
your
you.
contact number on there?
I can I'll put it,
Just give that to her too.
Yes,
Because
I'll
we may be needing to reach out to you again, okay?
that would be, like I said, whatever I can do to answer more questions, or I will certainly appreciate anything that you all can do for us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for
so
being
much.
here.
Thank you.
Okay, we're getting ready to have 3 bid openings. Just a thought here, and I'd like to see how the council feels. In the past, when we've been doing these bid openings, it seems like, let me just see how I'd like to do it. I'd like to award the bid and move on with the project. It's still I think we can do that in the process of moving forward.
I think we should, because they pick up the bids and it explains to them what we want and stuff.
I just like, if we have a bid opening, we award it, and then do the comparisons after the award, and let the process continue. That's, Scott, are you good?
Yes, sir.
Bill?
Yes, sir.
Deanna?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
And Butch?
I don't have a problem. In those bids, do we have a deadline on when those have to be started, or, I mean, is there flexible, what kind of flex is there?
I think the restroom is November the 31st. I sort of treated that just like we did last year with this restroom. I don't think there's specific dates on the other. When I spoke with the contractors, I told them that obviously we want to jump on it pretty quick and get it done before bad weather, obviously, came in. So, but that can be, you know, that wasn't in writing, so if you'd like to change it or move it around, obviously we can, but I'm sure the bids are probably, you know, good for only a certain amount of time, like maybe 30 days or something. So it's like y'all's pleasure.
Okay. Diane, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Looks like we'll do the Lower Street wall bid opening. First, this is from Cleco Construction. You ready? $118,650. $118,650. And Diane, this is from Ken's Construction. You ready? I'm sorry, I was reading it. $220,210. $220,210. So, pretty evident, Cleco is the lower bid. So what's the council's pleasure on this bid?
Elijah, that 118,650 is higher than I thought it would be, to be honest with you. That's a large chunk of our VDOT funds, and I almost think we would need to have the downtown lighting and extension project discussion before we award this bid. I know the mayor wanted to, you know, do our business and move on, but that's significant.
Okay.
Two things there. Number one, if we're gonna use urban maintenance funds, it is a substantial amount. Number two, the lighting project, which is also on the agenda, we talked about urban maintenance funds there also.
Yeah.
But downtown revitalization, I know we had some funds that were from the grant that were pulled back.
Yeah.
We recouped some of those, but I think we need to figure out where we're at with what State Street, you know, VDOT urban maintenance funds we want to put forward, and then also what downtown revitalization funds we want to put toward these projects, and figure out where we're at with both projects, because I know that in the last council meeting, we were pretty committed to the lighting project. I know that we bid the wall project, but that was a little higher than, I'm like, Councilman Gilmer, it's a little higher than what I expected, knowing what the wall at Wendy's was, the cost.
Yeah.
And it was a substantial construction project.
Yeah.
So that concerns me a little bit.
And
I don't think it's anything that we can't work through as a group.
Right, and we, I mean, unless I'm wrong, we had some serious integrity stability issues at Wendy's.
We did.
And here, we don't necessarily have, I mean, it's not as pressing as an issue, if I understand. I mean, part of it is the integrity of the structure. But I don't think there's any risk at this point like there was at Wendy's, correct, Kevin?
Correct.
And this was, we wanted to do this for a couple reasons, because, one aesthetically, and, the breakdown of it, but the integrity of the structure is degrading. But
Well, we don't have.
without that piece of, at Wendy's, we had to do something. Here, we're aesthetically finishing a wall, and our guys, stucco in it or whatever we plan on doing initially, or maybe Kevin had proposed maybe putting, reinforcing that wall with a layer of concrete. Maybe we should look at that real hard before we spend $118,650.
Not only that, but it's, as far as the danger aspect too, we're not dealing with traffic control down on that lower
On
street.
that lower street.
Main Street will be open. At the Wendy's wall, we also had to close the lane down on Main Street, and they were working right beside the traffic, so it brings a different aspect to it. But I think it's something that we can discuss further, and
We'll just kick it down to item E under new business.
we do that.
How's that? All right. JS Easterly Park bid. The bathroom, the new bathroom. Out there. Let's see, Diane. First bid is from Ken's Construction. Ready? $76,212. $76,212. Stiffy Construction. $47,160. $47,160. So everybody got those figures down? And this one is, to be completed by November 30. So, what's your pleasure regarding this bid project?
I'll make a motion, we accept Steffi's bid for $47,160.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I would like to say one thing, Mayor. I'm not a fan of new construction projects, but that bid right there is in line with what we had estimated back
Yeah.
6-8 months ago,
Yeah.
so I'm perfectly fine with moving forward.
This is a project that's been a long time coming. For those who've been to the Easterly Park, if you're aware of that bathroom out there, you'll be happy that we're doing this project.
And when was the completion?
November 30. November 30.
Mayor, do we need to include in the motion that we'll be using ARPA funds for completion of that project, or would you rather me make a separate motion for that?
I was assuming that was gonna be in your ARPA motions. When we put it in this one, it doesn't matter. You want to say to be paid by ARPA funds, Deanna, in your motion? Does that work,
Yes, sir.
Brad?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Diane, we changed it a little bit. You good? Okay, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, as you all know, we've been working several months trying to get together a bid package for the facade and the marquee at the renovated theater that's going on downtown, the downtown revitalization grant. So we now have bids for the Russell Theater facade. And this first one, Diane. Is from Ken's Construction. Shane, what's contractors' bidding sheets? They've got it by marquee, attachment A, marquee, attachment B, the digital coming attractions.
There should be a total cost at the end of it.
I'm gonna ask you to come up here. Mike. Is that the total
So
of
the
everything,
overall cost of the project, yes.
including the marquee and everything?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And the facade.
Yes.
All right, Diane. $211,955. $211,955. Stiffy Construction Company. $224,758.
Say it again.
$224,758. Roughly a $13,000 difference between bids.
Is there completion for that?
I don't believe there's a completion on those.
Yeah, December,
Yeah, that's right, the grant.
grant's done.
That's
We
right.
got it there.
December 31st.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you, Shane. Okay.
This is paid for by, with the downtown revitalization money.
This is out of the downtown grant. Correct.
Be $160,000, I think we got in that facade, correct, Shane?
It looks like we're gonna have $178,017.71
Out of the grant,
out of the grant
out of the downtown grant.
for the facade.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you tell me that again? I'm
$178,017.71.
sorry. Thank you.
I'm assuming, Scott, we still have, of course, we have unexpended funds in the tobacco grant and the ARC grant.
It leaves you a balance of $33,937.29.
Is that all right?
We will,
Or
the remaining balance will have to be paid from town funds.
Yeah.
Mayor, I make a motion to award the Russell Theater facade to Ken's Construction.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
Any further discussion?
I'll just say that, Ken's is currently, they were one of two pre-qualified, or three pre-qualified contractors, and they're familiar with all the odds and ends, Shane, of what's required with the paperwork with DHCD, so I think
Well,
it's,
they've been doing all your other facades already.
Facade work downtown, that's right.
So,
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, same sign. How's everybody doing? Everybody need a break here yet?
yeah, I could use one.
It's 10 till, we're gonna take a 10-minute break. Item A, ARPA committee recommendations we had, that's the American Rescue Plan funds that came from the federal government to all towns and cities and counties in Virginia. So, Mr. Gilmer, Chair of the ARPA Committee, do you have any recommendations for council?
I do, Mayor. With the guidance regarding the coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds, we were able to calculate using the provided formula our loss of revenue for 2020, which is considered an eligible use of the ARPA funds. That amount for public record was calculated to be $568,530.92. And with that, I'll make a motion to take that from the American Rescue Plan Act funding and put it into our general fund for lost revenue.
I'll
We
second.
have a second? We have a second. All in favor of the recommendation, motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
With our meeting also, we're still figuring up our recovery amount for the eligible costs occurred as of March 3rd. So at our next meeting, as early as our next reconvene meeting, we may have that total, and I may have further recommendations for the council.
Okay.
I would like to add, Diane, if you could please let Beverly and Janice know that we also approved the J.S. Easterly project, and that total needs to be drawn down from ARPA funds as those are drawn down by the contractor. Is there anything else, Mayor, you can think
The
of?
housing, we're at our housing project with our regional housing for senior citizens.
Yes. Also, in the committee meeting, the committee recommended an allocation to the Cumberland Plateau Regional Housing Authority for the elderly housing project in Lebanon in the sum of $100,000. I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gilmer, second by Ms. Stanley. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So the other items we talked, do you think we'll be able to address those tomorrow evening?
I think so. Janice said she's gonna work on it first thing in the morning.
Totals?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Again, I want to thank, we've got a committee, and this is federal dollars that have been sent, as I said, to all localities to help during the recovery due to COVID that hit all local governments. Okay. I want to thank Mr. Gilmer for his service on the Russell County Industrial Development Authority. His term has expired and will expire in September. I think I won't speak for you, but I understand as an IDA member myself, he's chosen not to be reappointed to take care of some other, spend more time with his family, et cetera, et cetera. So I need the September board meeting. We need to have a name from the town council to replace Mr. Gilmer. And that's why that's on the agenda. If anybody is interested here tonight in that, now's the time to speak. So I'm just going to go down the road here. Dora?
I'm not interested.
Deanna?
I would be.
You're interested? Vice Mayor? Mary? Brad?
Yes.
And Elijah?
I'm interested myself. I'd just like some more information on context.
All right, so we have 3 interests. We'll discuss this tomorrow. We need to have, I don't want to leave that seat vacant. We need to have an appointment by first Monday of September, which is the Board of Supervisors meeting. Okay? Town of Lebanon webcam. Who's that?
Mayor, I did. I put this on the agenda really so I wouldn't forget about it. A patron had approached me about possibly putting a webcam up in our downtown That's like a 24-hour camera that would be, just functional, that we put on our website. He was telling me about how he was visiting different towns during the pandemic, and it was just a real neat, tool that he could use to check in and not only read about the towns, but also see, some of the aesthetics of these places. And I would just like to reach out to Kevin to have him check with Josh, Mr. Music, Josh Music, and just see, like, is that a possibility? How much, what kind of cost would that be? What kind of logistics go behind it? What kind of maintenance it would require? Just for information purposes.
What location roughly?
Well, I talked briefly with Deanna about it, and we're thinking somewhere downtown, somewhere that maybe captures something scenic, maybe the courthouse in the background, maybe even catches maybe up the top of the middle school where you have Beartown in the background.
Yeah.
Catches when we change our banners out and so forth at the 4th of July. Different celebrations that we have come through the downtown, whether it's parades and so forth. Someone may be able to watch the parade that can't make it digitally. So it just seemed like worth looking into. But we're thinking in the downtown area, maybe, I know the project area downtown really, no, from we'll just say from the school to the courthouse, somewhere in that
I
range.
like the idea of seeing, where you can see all the banners downtown, and then you have Big A Mountain in the background. Because that'll get the courthouse too.
They will.
So we currently have one in that area, so it may be just a matter of just relocating.
And that may be an option he maybe gives us on that.
Okay.
So.
Okay, but I will check on it.
Thank you.
Item D, to match farmer's market bake sale total for kids' food bucks. Diane, I think I'm going to ask you to talk about that. Did you not, were you my source for that one?
I probably am. Tammy Jo with the farmer's market, she reached out to me. I think Donna Mee, her crew usually has the food bucks for the kids, and they had a day, and it was on TV, that the kids come to the farmer's market to buy produce with those food bucks. So they're going to have a little bake sale on Wednesday, and she just asked if the town might match what was raised from the bake sale, and all of it would go
To the
to
kids?
the kids.
This Wednesday's bake sale?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Do we have any idea what kind of expense that would be, or what kind we're looking
She
at?
said maybe $100 to $200.
Okay.
I mean,
They had, that was more than one day, it was for different
yes,
kids from different schools.
yes. And they all come and they can just buy fresh
Yeah.
fruits and
So
vegetables.
those kids' bucks, those are distributed to the students in the local area to come and purchase food at the farmer's
At the
market.
farmer's market.
I was out there one day and it was very exciting.
It's good for those, it was great for the kids, for sure.
Should they be still be right there?
And,
Okay, go ahead.
well, Mayor and Deanna, I guess, we've got $1,400 in our farmer's market account. I mean, could we not,
Just take it
could we
out.
not just, do $250 or something towards this, or $500 or whatever, to, put towards,
Kids' bucks.
kids' bucks?
Why don't we do this? Why don't we see what they raise, and then we'll match it and go over if we, let's see what they raise.
Say it again?
Let's see what they raise with the bake sale, and then we can match it or give an extended donation.
We'll know after Wednesday, so I think we're agreeable to at least match what we're going to do Wednesday. Is that what y'all are saying?
I'll make a motion that we do a match to that on
Food market, farmer's market.
at the farmer's market account. And if it does not go over 250, we go up to that amount.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Item E is we continued our discussion regarding the downtown historic lighting expansion. It ends down at Family Drug right now. here, from the corner here of the town hall, down there is in the footprint of the downtown revitalization grant. If you remember, who's my man that came from AEP down here?
Jim Porter.
Jim Porter came, walked the site, marked the site. He's given us a contract of what it would cost, anticipated cost. The contractor, that is a straight contractor with Ken's Construction. That's part of AEP's, just like they did the original part downtown. Scott, I understand now that we may be able to use, how much do you say we might use?
You've got left in streetscape right now, $22,259.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a project I'm definitely interested in. Mayor, can you remind me though, how long, once we ordered material, it would be before tell me the timeline. We were pressed before because we had a deadline of December 31st to exhaust our funds. But what kind of timeline was we looking at once we ordered the material, and then before, to get the project completed? Because I'm interested in splitting this over 2 fiscal years.
Sure.
So that way, it doesn't impact our VDOT funds as significantly.
Well, the thing, Jim Porter, the main thing, when we started, I think I called Shane too, it was about 2 weeks ago, we thought we were going to get our decision on our downtown grant budget revisions. We didn't get them until Friday. So the thing to remember, what Jim wanted first is to order the poles. That takes the longest. 2 weeks ago, he thought if he ordered them 2 weeks ago, he would have the poles here by December at earliest. So we're within when you talk 2 fiscal budget years, we're within the guidelines of our budgets to meet that. And I think we just have to decide, we'll need to get a street committee and Lige, and I've already talked a little bit, is determine, budget this out over 2 VDOT budget years instead of 1.
And to give you an update, Mayor, the 944, I'm using that as an estimated revenue that we're going to receive from VDOT. Currently, through the end of July, we've utilized $102,239.67 of that, which leaves us a balance of $841,760.33. And the reason that that's a little bit of an elevated number is we split the Wendy's Wall project into fiscal years.
That's right.
So we've paid that off. That was remaining balance of $61,154.74. So Clico Construction is paid in full. But I don't have a problem. It's just like Shane said, we've got some dollars there that we can spend with downtown. If we split it between 2 fiscal years, it's going to make it easier on me. But I like to have a project. I like to have that leniency of having a project between 2 fiscal years because I can zero my balance.
Yeah.
But one thing we do need to discuss is the actual total cost of that. Also, I'm all for moving forward, but we need to make sure that we don't have any pushback from citizens with where we place these lights. So if we're going to move forward financially, I think we probably need to move forward also with sending letters and having a public hearing.
Well, I've walked it up. There's not that many residents affected by this one.
Okay.
Because, if you walk the main streets, most of them are at street poles, at road entrances. There might be one there, Mr. Leonard's house. Most of them,
Or an entryway.
yeah, entryway kind of, but it's, I guess what what we really need to decide, well, obviously, is if we're gonna do it, is the first thing. But in order to get the materials and to get things rolling, we need to kind of decide, are we moving forward with this project?
Do we have a total cost of the project?
Yeah, is that in that contract in there, Dane?
43,000.
How much was it?
75.
It was almost 50/50 of material and labor, wasn't it?
It's 5, 4, 3, 5, 7, 5.
Okay, and what kind of downtown funds are we utilizing?
Oh,
Potentially 22,000.
Yeah.
And that's what's left. It can be spent on any streetscape project that you got.
Do we have-
Materials only, right, Shane?
Materials on.
By December,
But now, Mayor, I agree with Elijah. I mean, we probably need to contact the property owners to get feedback. I mean, they may be able to bring something to our attention we're not aware of. I mean, that's,
I think one thing too, if I can speak, when we did the original set, the town didn't pick where those lights went. And we ran into trouble with the one at the theater, because we put it where they suggested. Well, the town should have a say-so where you want those lights to go aesthetically, because now you don't have as much town property, I don't feel like, and some of it is gonna be on some of the properties, I think.
No, all of it's on right away.
It is? Okay.
It's all right. You gotta remember too now, guys, those of us who were involved with AEP before, it's all about lighting and the hue and what's the term?
photometrics.
The photometrics. So this guy, I mean, they've done this for a this is what they do for a living, AEP. It's just like the ones that did downtown. We didn't have a public hearing on that, that's what I'm saying. If you want Jim to come back down here and let's go walk with him and find, or,
Are they marked?
yeah, he's got a spray orange circle,
Okay.
really spotted.
That's fine, I just want to be transparent with the people that live on Main Street. So we 543, 575 minus $22,000 for materials. Is there any other funds we're putting toward this project besides VDOT or maintenance?
Who knows, make it in that art for them.
That needs to be discussed, because we're talking about the State Street Committee spending $521,000
Over 2 years.
which is $260,500 per year.
Well, I was just trying, I didn't want to go above that number you kept dividing by 5.
That's 640.
Yeah, earlier.
he done blown that out.
But now he's in my streets department pocket.
Yeah, see, he's double whammy there. That is.
All right.
But Tony, I know you're gonna hate me for saying this, but what's the rush now to get this done? Because we're not, even if we do it, you're not gonna start until summer, because it's gotta go across, I mean,
I think the only rush is
it's gonna be in 2 fiscal years, so
Well, now, there's one aspect of it that could be done pretty quick.
order the material.
Changing out those bulbs in the existing and changing that hue.
And it's 29,000, so
Downtown.
22 can take care of those.
Changing the hue on the existing lights,
Yeah.
remember?
Yep.
You make them brighter, or what are we doing?
It's a cool light, it's cool. It's
Got
it's
yellow
LED,
lights,
it's
more
LED lighting too.
Cleaner light.
So we're updating the fixtures.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
It's about 20, what'd you say?
29.
Yeah.
29.
So they're on my 22,000.
Look, I mean, I'd like to move forward, but I'm not ready to order the material yet. I mean, I'd like Elijah to take time to look at it financially and put it together, put the project together. I still would like, at a minimum, somehow disclose public, I don't know if a public hearing or not, but we at least need to send the affected property owners, even though it's on our right of way, it's in their front yard, some of them, like the lanterns. But I will say this, I have looked at the pole position, and I think he did a very good job of possibly mitigating any issues with aesthetics on properties, because a lot of them are on the corners of the lots. And it just, I mean, it looked reasonable to me, but
Here's something that I want to approach the council with as far as using VDOT funds. I've looked a little deeper into this, and as long as the council's okay with not milling up asphalt and putting down new asphalt this year, and possibly even next year, if you want to look into slurrying some streets and roadways instead of asphalting them, and also using latex versus thermal when we stripe them, it's going to save a great amount of funds here that we can put towards this project. And we would still get the appearance of a newly asphalted, reconditioned road. It would be striped with latex versus thermal, and it'd also be slurry versus milled and asphalt, which is about a 60% cost reduction.
Well, let's just continue to talk about this, because now that we're out, we can't, the downtown grant's out of the picture for it. So I say we just, everybody continue to think about it. We'll get, I don't know if you want to draft a letter, go visit people, invite them to come out.
well, let's go ahead and move forward with that if it's a pleasure of the council. If it's not, then we won't. I mean, we don't need to.
Move
But,
forward
I mean,
with what?
just however, I mean, if we feel like we need to contact, the property owners.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, I'm gonna hold on to the contract
Gotcha.
that I have in my hands from AEP. That's all I'm telling you.
What would you suggest if, as far as communicating that to the property owners? A letter with the plans, an invitation? I mean, what's?
Well, I mean, it's not that far a walk from here down to Family Drug.
One afternoon,
Yeah, I mean, we go down through there.
seeing Kevin
You
next
can
week
look, I
maybe?
mean, we can see the orange, probably let the street committee have a committee meeting. Let's walk the street. You go down there and see, find out where they are and what is in front of the home, a residence. And then we can go back and identify the residents, then we'll go talk to them and say, if you could, can you come here? We're working on looking at a street lighting project, and show them the site and see if they have a problem with it. And then we report back to Jen after we do that. How's that?
Sounds good.
Is that good with you, Lige?
Yes, sir.
So I'll leave it up to you to set a street committee meeting to do that between now and September. I'm gonna call Jen and tell him that the contract is on, I don't know how long that contract was good for either.
Maybe you can just let them know our situation, because if we do it, it's gonna be over next fiscal
Well,
year.
one thing is we had some downtown revitalization grant funds.
Oh, yeah, I know what to tell him. I'm just trying, I'll call him tomorrow.
I mean, just
The numbers may change,
so-
I guess.
Just so the public understands why this is being questioned at this point, we had some funds pulled back
Yeah.
due to not being approved through some housing issues that we had with participation.
All right. I'm good. Everybody good? Just let us know on the street committee.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item 7 there, probably, Deanna, we ought to have I think we ought to have a Parks and Rec committee to talk about Cedar Fest for next year. I talked to Kent, remember all the groups have their annual meeting in October, most of them. So we've got time, I think, I think we're gonna have a committee meeting between now and
Could we have the street and committee meeting, the street and Parks and Rec? at the same
together.
time?
Sure.
If all we're gonna do is walk the street, we could go back and have the Parks and Rec.
This looks like a good crew to walk the streets.
Yeah.
Let's count. Who's on the street committee with you, Lige?
Mr. Gilmer and Mr. Fields.
And who?
Mr. Fields.
Scott, what's your work schedule for next week? You know yet?
I'll be out of town. No problem with y'all walking the streets without me.
You trust us to talk to the residents?
How about the Parks and Rec?
No problem.
meet on Wednesday. Or, and then, I gotta hear from Thursday. But I can meet Monday or Tuesday.
A week from today? What's your calendar work-wise, Mr. Leonard, on the 30th? I mean, the 23rd?
Tell me a time and I'll adjust. 23rd's on Monday.
Yeah, a week from today. Oh, you're out of town next week, Scott?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to go, come go.
Will you be back the 30th that week?
Yes, sir.
Do you know your work schedule yet on it?
Yeah, I get off 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, he gets off.
On Monday, the 30th?
Yeah.
Does that work for you then? What time you will do it?
4 o'clock, 4:30, 4:30.
4:30.
Okay, Brad,
4:30, I can't, I mean, 4:30 is,
Can we do it at 5 o'clock, Brad?
well,
4:30 or 5 is
4:30.
4:30 is.
What about you? 5?
4:30 is the earliest I can be.
5.
Let's do it at 5.
yeah,
I mean,
you,
I can be here at 4:30.
Well, Brad's straight.
Five is fine. Okay.
That way if you get home after school. 5 o'clock, lads,
Yes, sir.
on
30.
the 30th. Diane, you better help them, remind us.
okay. You have to send notice.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're down to the town manager's report. Mr. Blankenship.
Yes, sir. I've got 2 items. You can turn to the section
Yeah, let me get that.
manager's report.
Okay.
The first is the Richardson and Whalen quote, and if you could, in your packet, information, go to the very last page. So basically, it's the last page of the book. This is a quote to go ahead and to paint the traffic signal, the light pole and so forth, right here at the town hall,
Intersection.
Main Street. And the quote that I was given is $14,541.34.
Elijah, if you would, put that on the total cost of that project. Because if we do the street lining,
$14,000 a pound.
When's the last time we painted them, Bill?
Well, the thing is, we need it to be black, so to match all the other lights. Normally, you don't paint unless you want them to look decorative. They're galvanized poles, but they can paint them black so they don't match the downtown.
I'm gonna think about that one for a while,
I'd
guys.
like to see an itemized quote on what actually they're doing there, because that seems awful expensive to me to paint a light, a red light. Right?
Well, it's, all I know, I remember from the downtown project, it's a different kind of paint on those poles, is all I know.
they gotta put something on it before they can paint it.
I'm sure there's a cleaning solvent in there, the adhesion promoter for that galvanized, but still, $14,000, that's a lot of work done for $14,000.
All right,
Okay, so we'll wait on that.
Might include traffic control, does that
It
check?
does not,
It does not.
traffic control is not included as affordable. Actually, I'll just read the bullets to you. Please note all work will be done to meet or exceed VDOT specification. All work will be performed to a mutually agreed upon schedule. All work will be done during normal working hours, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Thursday. Traffic control is not included. Our quote includes paint primer applied by a roller or brush. Paint will be applied per manufacturer recommendations. However, we do not guarantee the longevity of the paint. Quote must be signed within 45 business days of proposal date. Construction must be completed by December 31st, for a possible price increase may be required. So it tells me if we get no warranty on the paint, and they're using the adhesion promoter, which is considered primer for galvanized,
Billy to see if we can do it. All right, is everybody good to hold up on this one for time being? Kevin?
All right, one other item I have, this is something that basically we need you guys to approve. This is, the first of all is the resolution requesting a comprehensive analysis study of the town of Lebanon's fire department. And it's actually located in the location section as well. It's the second page within that location section.
Or is it?
Which section?
It's in your book, under information.
Information.
Yeah, just look at your information, and it's the second page. So we have a resolution here, as well as a comprehensive analysis study of fire system request. There's a letter of request that must be sent in order for the Virginia Fire Services Board to conduct a complete and thorough review of the town of Lebanon's fire department, volunteer fire department.
So we have, one of the requirements is to pass this resolution.
Yes, pass this resolution, and of course I'll have to also send this letter of request.
But in that resolution, we're committing to $93,323 of the current fiscal year's budget.
Yes, and that's what the fire department budget is currently, that was passed.
So this is not an additional.
No, yeah, this is just showing the budget item for the fire
It's
department.
just saying what
It's
the
the cost.
fire department's responsible for in the town.
That's their
That's what we're
But this is in the budget. This
yes.
is not additional money.
That's
No.
under straight.
Actually, the service is free.
Oh, okay.
This is just to let them know what the current budget is for the fire department.
Okay.
So this is the fire department's budget.
What's the council's
This
pleasure?
should be two motions
What's
to approve the
the resolution?
resolution and to send the letter, or does it
You
need
can
to be two?
do, I think you can do both in one motion.
I'd like to make a motion to move forward and approve the resolution for Town of Lebanon to have comprehensive study done by the Virginia Department of Fire Programs.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
And send the letter.
Oh, yeah, and authorize the town manager to send them.
And as requested by the Virginia Department of Fire Programs to send the request letter.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, same sign. Anything else at this time, Mr. Blankenship?
No, sir. That was two things I was going to talk about.
Chief Deskins, police department report.
Yes, sir. Just, I'll go through the numbers for you real quick. So for the month of July, we, as a police department, issued a total of 34 summonses, made service on 26 warrants. We had 5 motor vehicle accidents responded to, 21 total misdemeanor arrests and 5 felony arrests. Responded to 26 assist motorist calls, patrolled 8,469 total miles, and responded to 404 total calls for service. Also like to let the council know that Officer Riggs and Officer Jackson both completed their 1-year probationary period at the end of July with no problems at all. They've been excellent officers, so we appreciate you guys bringing them on board. Today was the first day of school. We had our normal hectic times with traffic, but it's nothing unusual in what we always have. It'll level out. Everything will be good. We'll try to implement a couple different things for this next week until the parents get kind of accustomed to what they're doing again, where they're going and stuff. So the backlog we had at the middle school and at the high school hopefully will level itself out.
I mean, are we gonna have people out there?
As much as possible. What happened today was, obviously we're shorthanded. All of our officers today were stuck at the middle school because the parents lined up all the way back to Gypsy Street on Premier Street.
Right.
So we were all stuck there to make sure the buses could get around. Chris Sneed went out to the high school to try to filter out through there and everything, and then we were supposed to have some help with school resource officers. And
Well, there
then
were 4 of them at the Lebanon primary this evening.
they apparently were in training. And
Training.
yeah, so that kind of put us in a little bit of a bind because we usually count on their help first week. And but I made some phone calls. Hopefully tomorrow it's going to be a little more leveled out. But it's typical first week of school always gets a little backlog. So that
Okay.
You always have to have somebody to go to school, no matter what, for the kids.
we always do because there's a crosswalk.
And these others can work out themselves if they need to.
Yeah.
How about DMV, you gonna try and get somebody?
We'll have somebody there, yes, and that was, like I say, everything was working good until we got that backlog up there, and we just kind of got.
That'll be that way, won't
got
it?
to it.
What about, is Chris Sneed and Chris Kaiser available to help you?
There, yes, yeah. I'll
During
have
these
both of them
coming weeks?
Coming in, yes.
The
This
first couple
morning,
weeks or two.
Yeah, I didn't anticipate the problem at the high school this morning, so I just had myself and Jamie,
Yeah.
and we've never had trouble at the high school in the mornings, and I don't know what happened this morning.
What you mentioned to me earlier, Eric, I started thinking about that, and I can't say that very often I see too many buses turn left either, but for some reason,
That's what happened this morning. Usually, the buses will come from the high school, they'll turn right and go up on the 4-lane and go to the primary school, and they don't get stuck right after because they can just turn right. For some reason today, they were turning left to come through town, and that's what,
Don't come to the middle school.
they go up to, they come from the high school to the primary, and then from the primary to the middle.
so today they were trying to turn left.
Instead of
But
going
the bypass traffic coming to the high school had the right of way.
Yeah.
So they couldn't catch a break between Main Street and the bypass traffic turning left. It just is a bad situation. But
So the high school buses leave the high school now and get up on the bypass and come down Pittston Road to the Lebanon primary?
That's what they had been doing before. Today, for some reason, they turned left, which was what caused the backlog at the high school.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but it, like I say, it's typical first week, it'll get leveled out, and then hopefully, before long, we'll get some more hands on deck and be able to have somebody at every station.
Okay.
But yeah, they're working on it. Other than that, everything's going pretty smooth, so appreciate everything you guys are doing. I would like to request maybe just a minute of your time in closed session for some personnel.
I think we're heading that way with Mr. Taylor. So,
There's a couple matters I'll bring up in closed session.
Okay. We need a motion to go into closed session at this time to discuss legal matters and administration and staff personnel. So, okay? Is that definitive enough?
So moved, Mayor.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We stand in closed session at this time.